All right, so I know I teased a little thing yesterday, or tried to, whatever, about SNAP. And I want to talk about that along with how inflation's going to affects that as well. So I got an article from the Indiana Capital Chronicle, and it says advocates experts fear increasing in food insecurity following SNAP cuts. And I'll put that up so you can see it. So I did some digging in the 6th district of Indiana, Jefferson Shreve's district. So remember, he voted to cut these programs. Jefferson Shreve, the multi-millionaire, I believe he sold his business for like $600 million, voted to cut these things. So in Indiana's 6th district alone, we have 33,850 households or 84,000 individuals that are likely receiving SNAP benefits. So I know there's a lot of myths out there about SNAP being some magical program that people just get on and take. They don't. So I'm going to go to the requirements first, so you understand what it takes to get SNAP. And I have no problem saying this. As a kid growing up in Northern Virginia, there was a time when my family was on SNAP. So I have no problem helping people out who need it. I would rather 100 people who don't need it get it, and so that one person who does need it gets it, as opposed to taking it away from 100 people, so the one person who does need it doesn't get it. Okay, it's food, people. It's food. I'm not going to lose sleep over people getting fed, regardless. If we can give tax breaks for corporations to write off private jets, we can feed people, okay? So there's non-financial eligibility. You got to be a resident of Indiana. You got the U.S. citizen or eligible immigrant status, register for work and cooperate with Indiana's Impact Job Training Program, meet applicable work requirements. Able-bodied adults without dependents, age 1854, are limited to 3 months of benefits in a 36-month period unless they work or engage in qualifying activities for 20-plus hours a week. So half-time, working part-time. Certain exemptions apply for caregivers, students, seniors, disabled individuals, and the homeless. And I take notes. Like I always tell that, but I do it. It's a lot of information to remember at one time. So there's a financial eligibility, okay? So this is gross income, before deductions, before taxes. You could only make income that falls at or below 130% of the federal poverty level. If you're a one-person household, you can only make $19,584 a year or less. Two persons, $26,580 a year or less. Three persons, $33,576 a year or less. For a four-person family, $40,560 a year or less. So remember, these are your max. If you make $40,700, you as a family of four, you don't qualify anymore. Okay, so now you do get deductions, and I'm not going to get into all that. But your net income is what you're allowed to have. Of one person is allowed to have $15K a year. Anything more than that, you don't get it. Two people, $20K a year. Three people, $25K a year. A family of four, $31K a year. Okay. That is not a lot of money nowadays. Okay. And the average monthly benefit for Indiana household is about $420, which translates to roughly $201 per person. And that is for a family of four. Okay. So there's also asset restrictions. If you have more than $5,000 in countable assets, like bank accounts, cash, vehicles, that can make you lose your SNAP. Your house does not count. Personal belongings and life insurance does not count. But if you have $5,000 in your bank account, or you have a car that's worth X amount, then you could become ineligible for SNAP. So I was curious how many kids are on SNAP here in the 6th district, Jefferson Shreve's district. Remember, the guy who's a multi-millionaire who ran for mayor of Indy as a moderate and is now our congressman, who is lock in step with Trump, he was worth a couple $100 million. We have a total households. So here, we have about 12.36% participation rate. So we have 33,750 households. You estimate that to be about 8,400 individuals. So estimated SNAP recipient for children, 18 years or younger, $60,800. 60,800 people, sorry. So again, Jefferson Shreve, Todd Young, Jim Banks voted to take food away from mainly kids, because we have a total of 84,000 individuals that are SNAP, but 60,000 of them are children. I don't know about you and me, kids cannot choose who their parents are. So you have, just with Jefferson Shreve alone, a multi-millionaire has decided that kids should not get fed. So now that they passed and remember, Jim Banks, Todd Young, Jefferson Shreve, who doesn't answer questions or have town halls, voted for the big beautiful bill. So that's going to affect schools and the reduced or free lunches for kids. So many children qualify for free schools meals via direct certification. If their family receives SNAP, Medicaid, or TANF, temporary assistance for needy families, schools automatically enroll them. With stricter work requirements and benefit reductions, thousands of families may lose SNAP, ending automatic meal eligibility for children. They want kids to starve. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say that. They want kids to starve. What kind of person are you that to save money for the rich and corporations, you said, let's not feed kids? So there's this myth that SNAP is just some program you show up to, you sign up for, and you get it. No, it's not. It's not. And I don't have the data in front of me, but I don't think families, once they get on it, stay on it permanently. But again, I would rather feed kids than not feed them. I would rather people get fed, because now I'll go into some of the other stuff I was going to talk about, because I put a couple pictures up, right? So there's this whole MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again, where they want you to eat certain foods, and people who have SNAP, you would think you'd want them to eat these foods too. And I know Kennedy talks about how beef tallow and beef is great for you. Fine, I love beef too. So I'll put this up. Beef prices have soared in the U.S. and not just during grilling season. U.S. grocery prices reached record highs in 2025. So that money you're getting every month is going less. It's getting stretched further and further, okay? And then there's beef. The average pound of ground beef, $6.12. I think last year I was paying about $4.99 a pound at Costco. At Walmart, it was around the same, probably $6.12. Because I go shopping. Me and my wife are going to go shopping here a little bit. We like to go to Costco, and we go to Walmart. And I've already been looking. Prices have been going up. Beef price, I can't believe how expensive beef got. So now you're taking your SNAP dollars. They want you to eat healthy, and the food's going up. And yes, SNAP is linked to inflation, but it's not linked monthly to inflation. So you get it for the year on the previous year's inflation. Prices go up during the year. You don't get anything extra during that year until the next year when they redo the inflation. And so based on what I've seen so far, right now we're running about 2.7%. I would say you probably see about a 2.5% increase on your benefits. But I'm not making those decisions. And Walmart's been putting up prices. Also, a gallon of whole milk from May and July this year. In May, a gallon of milk, whole milk, and they want you to drink whole milk, right? $3.85 a gallon, $4.05, 5% increase. A gallon of 2% milk, $3.55, now $3.75, 6% increase. I'll put this up. Gallon of milk, 1%, $3.32, $3.51, that's a 6% increase. Coffee, $12.36 for 18 ounces, now $13.48, that's 9%. Let me see. And there's some other stuff that aren't food, but you got pots, pans. You got 51% for a 12-piece pot and pan set, $99 to $149. But food has been going up. Food they would make you healthy that they want you to eat has been going up. So they're cutting your benefits, but telling you to eat healthy at the same time. It makes no sense to me. You're stretching your dollars further to buy food because the president promised us on day one that prices would go down. They have not. I'm trying to see if I have more notes on here for this picture. They're not. Prices are still going up. Overall, prices are still going up. They're cutting your benefits that, again, I don't care that people are getting fed. I just don't. And I don't know why you or anybody else would care that people are getting fed, because it's food. Okay, we're not making sure these people are driving Mercedes Benzes. We're not making sure they're flying first class on Delta or whoever you fly. I fly Delta, so that came to my head. We're feeding people. And then we're feeding kids at school. Kids don't choose who their parents are. And that shows that tells me who you are as a person, Jefferson Shreve, Jim Banks, Todd Young, that you find it good to take from the needy to give to the people who don't need anymore. What are you doing? You're supposed to serve the people, not the corporations. Again, I have said this in the past, I'll say it again. I've been on these programs as a kid. I'm grateful for my country to have stepped in and help when my parents needed the help. And I'm in a position now where my kids will never have to know that struggle or know that, but there are families out there who do. So when you go back to the kids who are the 60,000 children in District 6, okay, they're your kids' friends. They're your neighbors' kids. They're kids that your kids play with in youth sports. They're kids that go to your kid's school who are your kids are friends with. Why are you okay with taking food out of their mouths? It's food and it's kids, okay? Why? There's that saying, show me your budget and I'll show you your priorities. Our priorities in this country are not the people. Definitely not our citizens. It's corporations. It's the military industrial complex. Hey, I was in the Army. I love the Army. But we're giving contracts left and right. We're spending $400 million on Alligator, Alcatraz, and all these other prisons, which is money that we could be using to help victims of natural disasters. We could help feed kids. We could be taking care of our citizens. And then the government's bragging about the hundreds of billions of dollars we're taking in tariffs, which is money that we paid because it's a tax on us. And I digress. I'm going off tangent now. I just want to say is they're cutting SNAP, and it's going to affect the most vulnerable we have here in Indiana. And then at the same time they're cutting SNAP benefits, food prices are going up. So what do you expect people to do when they need help? The government is supposed to be there to help us when we need it. And they're making it so that it can't help us. And I just remember, Jefferson Shreve is a multi-millionaire. He voted for this. I'm sure Jim Banks is pretty wealthy. And I'm pretty sure Todd Young's pretty wealthy. These people who are in a position to do good for us voted to hurt the most vulnerable. And that's just wrong, in my opinion. So I'll leave you with that. SNAP is not some magical thing that you just show up and get on. And they're cutting it. Food prices are going up. Remember, you have a voice, use it.